Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. In tonight's video, we are going to be talking about the M16, which is a brand new weapon, came out last week onto PS4 and then this week onto Xbox and other consoles, and this is the M16 DLC weapon. Now the M16 is a weapon that, if you're familiar with Call of Duty or even just a bunch of first-person shooter games, it's a weapon that has been very popular and has been in a multitude of different games, and the way that it works in this game is pretty unique because of the plethora of attachments available on this thing and its direct competitors, because this isn't the only burst weapon in the game, especially for a tactical rifle. You have direct competitors with this thing such as the ABR, which is a little bit different because you can hold down the trigger, but I would say the Stingray is probably its direct competitor. We'll talk a bit about that, what makes the Stingray better than the M16, and what you can do to make the M16 better than the Stingray in certain scenarios and make this weapon very, very strong. So drop a like on this thing if you could. Let's go ahead and go for 405 likes. If we could hit that, that would be absolutely amazing. Smack that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed, and let's get right into it and talk about it. Now, first of all, with this M16, what can you expect with this thing? Now, the first question whenever you have a burst weapon is you want to know, does this weapon have the potential to one burst? And the answer with this is a very astounding yes. This weapon does have a one burst potential, but because you're not shooting, a plethora of bullets in each burst, you're going to need to basically connect on almost perfect shots, or unless you have the specific attachments, high caliber 1, high caliber 2, which give you a little more leeway on the standards of what it takes to get a one burst kill. If you are hitting people in the head or the upper chest, you can get those one burst kills if you are fully connecting, and then if you are shooting people in the body or moving targets, for most time on those kills you can expect a two burst kill. Sometimes you will be shooting three bursts, but that's usually when you're missing shots or when the target is at a super duper long range. So mainly what you want to think is one burst to the head or two bursts to the body. That's sort of what your standards are going to be with this weapon. Now, when designing a class setup, the first thing that I thought about is when it comes down to just straight up body attacking players, this weapon, if you're trying to shoot a person in the body versus the Stingray, in my opinion, the Stingray is going to be a stronger weapon than this. Much like if you compare something like the Rampart going for body shots versus a Maddox or a KN. But the cool thing about this game is that there's operator mod, there's attachments, and there's limited attachments to each weapons, and that's why I consider this weapon sort of the burst version of the Rampart. And let me explain in a second here, because the Rampart is a weapon that if you just use that weapon normally, you're just spraying at the body, sure, it's a good weapon in the game, but what truly takes that thing to the next level and makes it OP is when you stack on high caliber 1, high caliber 2, and you're getting that super duper fast time to kill with the bop of the Rampart, based on those high caliber 1 and high caliber 2s, which takes that time to kill above other weapons. And I think the M16 can be said on sort of two ways that you can go with the class setup. And the first way is because this weapon does have grip 1 and grip 2 available, you could stack on grip 1, grip 2, and stock and just sort of try to outplay people, not flinch, and take on those body fights. But in my opinion, I think the Stingray would probably be better for more of a body shot sort of thing like that. And if you're trying to use this weapon to its max capacity, I think what makes this thing so amazing, like I just talked about the Rampart, the thing about the Rampart is it doesn't have stock available. On this weapon, you're getting high caliber 1, high caliber 2, and stock available, which means you have the potential for one burst kills, which will happen. I mean, I get a consistent amount of them in this game, but probably the majority of my kills were two bursts. It's something that, like the Rampart, you have to get used to and make sure that you do have your crosshair, you're holding it a little bit higher than usual, aiming for that head or upper body so that can tick in. But basically what I'm saying is having stock with a weapon that has high caliber 1 and high caliber 2, my gameplay strategy going into this is of course to aim and try to get those one burst kills, but like I said, if a lot of my fights are going to be two burst kills, I can use the stock and be strafing left and right just a minuscule amount or just a small amount, but that really can make the difference in those gunfights. So that's what I talk about, the two different ways you can take this weapon, either stacking grip like an ICR or stacking high cal like a Rampart. I really think that is probably the way to go with this weapon, and that's why as far as the class setup, what I rock with this thing is for 3 attachments, I rock high caliber 1, high caliber 2, and then stock. I don't think you need anything like an extended mags. I mean, the reload time on this weapon isn't too crazy. You got 30 bullets in each magazine, and it's not like you're going to be playing a super duper rush happy style anyway. This isn't the weapon that is made for close range. It's made for medium to long range probably, and for those gunfights that you can hit people in the head and strafe like that. So attachments, yes, high caliber 1, high caliber 2, and stock. Like I said, the other way you could take it is maybe stacking grips, but I have used this weapon throughout the week, and this is the class setup that I like the best and that I think is the best. Then as far as the red dot sight, I do run with just a normal reflex sight. I think that especially when you have something that you are trying to hit people in a specific area, it can make your accuracy a little bit better that you do have a reflex sight. And some people do like the default sights of this weapon. Preferably for me, it's just been a red dot sight thing, and it has been like, you know, COD 4, I would use the M16 with a red dot. MW2, actually MW2 holographic was kind of nasty on the M16, but yeah, in this game, I think reflex is the way to go, especially because you have that slot available. Then I use ComSec device as far as my gear, because I want to stack kill streaks with this weapon and control sort of objectives. And then my perk setup is pretty standard, honestly, nothing insane with the perk setup on this thing. It's tac mask in my first perk slot, just because there's honestly like the biggest thing about Black Ops 4. I love Black Ops 4 as a game, and this isn't just a dig at Black Ops 4, it's a dig at Call of Duty as a whole. Pretty much every Call of Duty has to have something that gives people not necessarily free kills, but a easy access to kills, such as specialists, such as death streaks and stuff like that, and that is just super annoying. A lot of deaths will come from things like that, and tac mask can block out some of those, honestly not the majority, but it does help a little bit, and that's why I use that as my first perk. Gung Ho as perk 2, which is pretty self-explanatory. Get your gun up quick and melt those enemies, and then Dead Silence as perk 3. So like I talked about with the strategy with this weapon, I think that to capitalize on this thing like the Rampart, you need to be aiming for that high one burst kills, and honestly I can do better at it too. Everyone can, and this is a weapon that takes a lot of practice like that, but still don't shoot one burst and expect to kill that enemy, because as players are moving around, as players are running around, you could be missing shots, you could be, you know, hitting just half of your burst, or hitting, you know, one bullet from the burst to the head, then missing the other 2 shots, or different. There's so many different multitude of options that can happen with burst weapons. I think a lot of people just think, oh, you shoot whatever, a 3-round burst or a 4-round burst and all the bullets connect, which isn't necessarily the case. I mean, it definitely isn't the case. So that's why you need to be open to a lot of different things. And while going for that, you know, having your crosshair high, aiming down sights around corners, trying to get that one burst kill is amazing. Still being ready for that second burst and to slightly strafe as you're shooting that second burst is something that I find has helped me out quite a little bit. As you can see right here, 2 players pushing me, and this weapon is not supposed to win that gunfight. Those guys are supposed to beat me, but just because I'm aiming down sights, I'm using this weapon to its strengths. I'm not trying to randomly hit fire spray with this thing, and I'm sliding left to right. They may be missing shots as I'm hitting shots, and in turn equals out to a very, very good result. So you can see here in this gameplay here, we were playing, and I was using this thing sort of to hold down B and hold down the long angles here, which is perfect on a lot of different maps. I mean, there's certain maps that fit better to an SMG or a shotgun or a sniper or an assault rifle or tactical rifle playstyle, but on other maps you can play a variety of ways. Like on this map, you can see I'm using the M16 and I'm playing this right side with it because I know that's where the weapon will exceed the best. However, if I had, like, you know, a Spitfire, I'd be running into their building, playing up in their building, trying to flip the spawns, then race back to the other side. So there is different ways to use this weapon. When I post up mid, I try to stay back a little bit. Same thing on the right side here. But yeah, you're going to get a lot of 2 burst kills, and you're going to want to aim up higher to be able to get those big 1 burst kills. The thing with this game as well is that you're not also, you can see, just look at that, melt that player, 1 burst headshot through a wall. It seemed like absolutely insane. But with this thing, you're not always in Black Ops 4 fighting a player with pure 150 health, which makes it even better that when players are injured, you are getting a 1 burst the majority of the time. And even if you get the damage in and then someone else finishes off that kill with Black Ops 4, of course, that is still worth, it's not worth the same. And of course, you'd rather get the kill yourself. Especially it's worse when, like what happened right there, where the score streak takes the kill, because then you're only getting plus 10 based on the score streak versus what you would have got for a normal kill with a assault package, which is what, 125, right? So you're missing out a lot there, but that is one thing that will happen. It's better for your teammates to steal your kill than your own kill streaks to steal your kill in terms of points, which is sort of weird. And I mean, the thing with score streaks versus kill streaks has always been, or point streaks, even some people would say, back when it was like, you know, you get 1 point for capturing and then the rest was just based on kills, like MW3 or something like that. But I really do think that score streaks are awesome, and I do like the way they do kill streaks as well. I see both sides of it, but it all depends on what you are giving value to. Like kill confirm, where, you know, in certain games, 50 for a kill, 100 for a tag, things like that. That's where you get into a discrepancy where people aren't really playing for the real reasons, and they're just tag chasing or doing whatever it takes. So anyway, hope you guys did enjoy this gameplay here. M16 is a pretty nice weapon. Of course, it is a DLC weapon. I know that not everyone does have this weapon, but I want to make this video, talk about it, talk about how I think this weapon can do the best and what I think its strengths are. And that's the best class up for you guys. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. And that's about it. And I'm out. Peace.